Do you think your memory of that night and my father's disappearance are connected?
I have no idea. I told you I have to understand what's causing these nightmares.
And what about Ethan? Isn't he gonna raise hell for you digging in your past?
I will be the one who decides what I will or won't do, and what I want to do is finish what we started.
And you're willing to risk your family being against this? Being angry with you?
I'll face whatever I have to, but I need to get to the truth about the past.
You're not gonna change your mind on me this time?
No, I told you. I have to learn what's been causing these nightmares since I was a child.
Even if it means starting World War III in the Crane compound, because you know how your family feels about anyone digging in your past.
Ethan means well. I don't give a damn about Julian.
And what about your father, old man Alistair?
I don't care. If I'm ever going to get on with my future, then I need to learn the truth about my past. I've got to find out what's causing these nightmares.
Atta girl. I told you she was made of strong stuff.
Did you really mean it when you said you'd help me?
Yeah. If that's what you want, I'll be with you every step of the way.
Of course he meant it, Sheridan. He's not gonna let up on you. If not for you, for himself, now that he thinks your past might have something to do with his family. Isn't that right, buddy boy?
Yeah, well, I won't deny that's part of it. It's a pretty strong coincidence that your bad dream started the night that my father vanished into thin air. Of course, it could mean nothing. I find it hard to believe that there isn't some connection there.
Is a wonderful young man. You are misjudging him, Sam.
Look, I know he's your son, but he has all the characteristics of a Crane. Genes don't lie. It's all right out there in front of him. It's going to be a lifetime of shady business deals and destroying innocent people's lives.
Don't say that. No, Ethan is just under the influence of Alistair and Julian right now.
No, not right now. Forever.
You are wrong. Ethan is a
You're
wonderful...
trying to sell him to me, Ivy, and it won't work, so quit trying. He's a Crane. Which means he thinks he can intimidate me, that I'll cut and run. Well, I got a news flash for that fine young man. If he wants to go to war, then bring it on, because I'm not going to pull my punches. We'll see who'll be the last man standing.
Sam,
Sorry,
please.
Ivy. You may be able to stomach the colossal Crane arrogance, but I'm not going to roll over for any of them, including Ethan. I guess you don't see it, but he's turning into his father.
You couldn't be more wrong.
Forget it. I've just seen the two of them in action, like two peas in a pod with their smug, condescending attitudes. Ethan used the same tone with me that Julian used with you when he went on the attack about your keeping secrets. I mean, what kind of monster did you marry?
I told you. It is a marriage in name only, and I swear to you that Ethan is nothing like Julian.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ivy, but that's not gonna wash. All right? You're obviously blinded by maternal love. This is a definite case of like father, like son.
You know your mother's secrets, the papers she gave Pilar to keep. You know what's in them?
If we don't start listing the wedding...
Kindly do not interrupt, Pilar. What do your mother's secrets have to do with? What do they concern?
Well, one thing, me. It's all about yours truly.
Dear God, Ivy's secret.
Ivy's papers are about you, my son? I don't understand. Why would Ivy be hiding something from me about my own son?
What do you mean? I mean, which person close to me is working against me? Please, I need to know. Who is it? Just tell me. You can't warn me that I'm going to be hurt by somebody I trust and then not tell me who it is.
That's all I could say right now. You must be on your guard every minute, or you and the people you love will be hurt.
Please, you're not giving me enough to go on.
I'm sorry. That's all I'm allowed to reveal. Be very careful, Grace. Evil is at hand.
Charity.
You have failed us again. You're worthless to us. Tonight you shall kill Miguel.
Kill Miguel?
Silence! Tonight you shall kill Miguel. But we're gonna kill you first.
No! Run, Timmy! Run! Leave us alone! You want to kill Miguel, not us!
Bet Tabitha's telling her one of her long, boring stories about the old days. Charity doesn't have the heart to walk out on her. I better go rescue her.
This can't be happening. I must have fallen asleep and this is just a bad dream.
I hate to burst your bubble, baby cakes, but this is as real can be. Don't look now, princess, but you and the little doll boy have swilled your last heart, Timmy.
I would hold the hand of the one who could lead me places and kiss the lips of the one who could sing so sweet. And I would fly on the wings of a bird I knew could take me higher, breathe in, breathe out, and keep me alive. You are the fire burning inside of me. You are my passion for life.
Ethan is nothing like Julian, and if you knew him better, you would see that.
Don't even waste your breath, Ivy. The less I have to do with that son of yours, the happier I'll be. One more thing. What were you afraid Julian was gonna find in that attaché case?
What?
I mean, the way he went at you today almost made me sick, but I got a distinct feeling that you're hiding something from him.
You saw what was in there.
No, I think Pilar covered for you. I mean, you were terrified that Julian was going to see something else in there. What was it?
I don't know what you're talking
Don't
about.
give me that, Ivy. You were scared to death when he opened up that case. I know you well enough to know when you're that upset.
Yes, you do. You know me better than anyone in the world. That's one of the reasons I fell in love with you.
Don't you even go there. I'm talking about right now, today. You were keeping something from Julian. And don't say it's nothing.
Okay, you're right. Pilar saved my life today by switching my personal papers with her own.
I don't get it.
If Julian ever saw those papers, if he even knew who they were about, it would destroy my life. And the life of everyone I love.
Your mother's secret papers are about you. Are you certain?
Positive.
Well, spit it out, son. I mean, what on earth would Ivy be keeping from me about you?
Well, now that Mr. Crane is convinced you have a secret, he will not rest until he uncovers it.
Well, we can't let that happen, Pilar. Julian must never know that Ethan is Sam's son and not his. That would be horrendous, and Ethan would be shattered if he found out he wasn't a Crane.
Oh my God, I was afraid something like this would happen.
You might as well tell me what the papers are about and what they have to do with you. I'm going to find out sooner or later anyway.
I don't understand. Am I being punished?
No, it's nothing you've done.
Well, then why me? I lost my sister in a fire, and my niece has been through so much.
Because evil searches up the good in people and tries to steal their spirits. That's why you must be extra vigilant. People close to you are keeping secrets. And even though they're keeping them for the right reasons, they don't understand that their deception could destroy strong and lasting relationships.
What secrets?
All I could say is that someone you know and love will do things to hurt you and your family.
But how can I protect myself if I don't know who it is or what they want? Are you saying it's hopeless? I'm doomed?
No. Wherever there's faith, there's always hope. From the beginning of time, there's been a struggle between good and evil, and good has always triumphed.
But what if I am not strong enough to fight it?
You have to be. You have to be stronger than you've ever been before, or your world will be destroyed.
Look, this isn't all about me. Now, I'd want Sheridan to get to the bottom of her nightmares anyway.
Well, yeah, you're a nice guy. I know you'd hate to see anyone freak out over old emotional baggage, but you have to admit you have a Mongo personal investment in this thing, too.
Well, yeah. I've always wondered what happened to my father. Why a man who supposedly loved us would just run out and never so much as look back without even checking to see if we were okay. I mean, there was no phone call, no postcard.
Well, just as long as you're prepared for what you might find out. I mean, you might find out that the reason your dad didn't contact your mom is because he couldn't.
I mean, because he was killed.
You can't rule anything out.
Look, I just want to find out the truth once and for all, whatever that may be. You know, the same way as Sheridan. You gotta put the questions of your past at rest so you can move on with the future.
Well, there's another school of thought behind that. It's called pushing on in spite of what's behind you. Sometimes you gotta sweep the bad stuff under the carpet so you can keep on keeping on.
Yeah, well, that may work for some people, but that doesn't cut it for me. I gotta clear the air. That's why I gotta do whatever it takes to find out what happened. I thought you were with me on this, Hank.
I am, buddy. You know, it's just now that your search is hooked up with Sheridan's nightmares, I'm wondering if you two know what you're getting into.
If you got something to say, say it.
Well, it's just this investigation has suddenly gotten pretty personal between the two of you. Are you sure you both can handle what you might find out?
Lightning bolt must have zapped the spell I used to bring you to life. Never mind. I'll cast another spell later. Erase it later. Listen. I think there's been some misunderstanding here. I'm the one who gave Charity the pendant. We're on the same side.
No, you listen, princess. You and that martini-guzzling sidekick have failed us time and time again. Now it's time to pay for it.
Oh, just give me one last chance.
Why? So you can screw it up again? It's time to pay the Viper.
That's weird. Charity said she was coming over here. She's all right.
Are you through yet, guys?
This was just a warm-up. Now let's get down to business.
Please. Don't cry. You're scaring me.
I'm sorry. Sometimes even my My faith is tested by the bad things in this world.
So is mine. But I will not let my fears win out over my trust. I mean, being strong is the least I can do for my sister's memory, and I have to believe that people's essential natures are good.
You're right, Grace. Things happen that change people. Fear, temptation, greed. Some people just can't stand up to those things. And that's when evil finds an opening. It turns secrets into deceptions, and deceptions into betrayals. Keep an eye on everyone you love, Grace. Everyone. I'm warning you.
Lives would be destroyed if Julian saw your private papers? You must be exaggerating.
No, Sam, I am not exaggerating. You have no idea what would happen if Julian found out what I was hiding. My life, as I know it, would be over.
Well, how can you even call it a life with only a housekeeper to confide in? I mean, having to lock away your earth-shattering secrets from the man you live with so he doesn't use them against you? I don't care what kind of marriage you have. It's not right.
Well, it can't be helped.
Oh, yes, it can. Nobody should have to live with all that pressure and tension hanging over them. I mean, if you're that afraid of Julian's reaction, I mean, why do you even stay with him?
Are you offering me an alternative?
No, Ivy. Nothing has changed. What we once had is long over. I love my wife. I just think it would be better to live alone than with someone you fear. You can't be happy.
I have cried myself to sleep every night for years.
Well, then, why do you stay with him? Is it the money? Is it the Crane name? Or all those things more important to you than feeling good about yourself? Look, I know it. I know exactly why you stay with him. It's because of Ethan, isn't it? Ethan is why you stayed with Julian.
I'm waiting, Ethan. As your father, I have a right to know about anything that concerns you in spite of what your mother thinks.
It's not that I'm trying to keep something from
Well, then tell me. I mean, don't keep me in suspense.
Forgive me, Mr. Crane. I know this isn't my place,
And
but
stay out of it. This is between Ethan and me. Don't you have silver to polish?
Father, that's rude.
Never mind that. Just tell me what your mother was stashing in that attaché case before Pilar felt the need to cover up a secret.
I wouldn't call it a secret at all. It was just a surprise that I came upon by accident.
What sort of surprise?
A wedding present. And Gwen was the one who figured it out. Oh, Mother's putting together old pictures of me, school papers, awards, that kind of thing, to make a memory book for Gwen and me for the wedding. And she was afraid that I might find it and ruin the surprise, so she asked Pilar to stash it for her. That's all that was in the case.
It seems we're talking about two different sets of papers here.
And what are you talking about?
I know for a fact that your mother has been keeping something far more important from me than a wedding surprise.
Like what?
Like other papers that she doesn't want me to see?
How could you possibly be sure of that? And what would it be? And why would she do that?
You don't know your mother the way I do, Ethan.
Don't you dare criticize her to me.
A loyal son, I'm merely pointing out that your mother's secret is still alive and well, and I'm going to find out what it is. You may tell her that from me, Pilar, as if you wouldn't anyway.
It's a valid question. I mean, what if you find out in all your digging around that Sheridan's nightmares and your dad's disappearance are somehow related?
Well, I can't speak for Luis, but I've given this a great deal of thought. Not knowing the cause of my nightmares is unbearable, much worse than anything I could discover about them.
Yeah, that's how I feel, too. Are you sure you want to take the trip down memory lane with me, though? Because, I mean, maybe Hank's right. Maybe the night my father disappeared and your nightmares are connected. And if that's true, you know, it could be awkward for us. You know, maybe I'm not the right person. We should be holding your hand through this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe we're making too big a deal out of this, you know? I mean, it's not like you guys are emotionally involved or still carrying a torch for one another, right? Hello?
No, of course not. That's the last thing we feel for each other.
It's a miracle we can even be in the same room without killing each other. But like I said, I'll still help you out with this thing if you're up for it.
Sure, whatever.
Well, it sounds like we have a plan. Where do we start?
I don't know, Luis.
Well, how about the night your nightmare started? The night my father disappeared. Anything you can remember about that night, I'd love to hear.
So long, Princess. Timmy never thought it would end like this.
Hello? Tabitha?
Uh-oh, we've got company.
Charity? You okay?
You want me to tell you what I remember about that night?
Every detail you can remember.
I'll try.
Come on, let's sit down.
So sure, this'll help.
Well, just go ahead. Give it your best shot. See what you can remember.
You were pretty young when your nightmares started, weren't you?
Yes. I also remember I was very frightened. You know, my mouth feels like it's full of cotton. Do you mind if I go get a glass of water?
No, of course not.
She's really shaky.
Yeah. Maybe now's not the best time for this. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I could use a break before we get into this heavy stuff.
Oh, I don't know.
No, you know what? Hank's right. This looks like it could turn into a pretty big deal and, take a lot out of us, so.
Well, I vote we go for a walk and fortify ourselves with some ice cream.
Well, it's up to Luis. I mean, he's so anxious to get to the bottom of this.
No, we have plenty of time for that. Besides, I'll bet you could use some fresh air, huh?
Like you wouldn't believe. You never let me go out.
No, don't worry about it. Look, even if those French drug thugs hired a new hitman, you're safe with me and Hank. What do you say?
I'd love to. Just give me a second.
All right.
Thanks for not pushing her too hard.
Why would I do that?
Because usually you're like a dog with a bone when you're hot on the trail for answers, man.
Look, Hank, this isn't just a case. I mean, Sheridan is obviously very fragile.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid she'll crack if you give her too much pressure.
Look, I know what I'm doing. I want to let her set her own pace, give her lots of room. It's very important to me to find out what happened to my father. Not if it means hurting Sheridan, okay?
Sam Bennett may be the chief of police, but I'll be damned if he's going to tell me what to do.
That's the spirit, son. I've never liked that fellow myself, especially since he was appointed chief of police.
It's just, I don't know what his problem is. I haven't done anything to him.
Your last name is Crane. He's one of those middle-class public servants with a completely irrational resentment toward anyone with a credible stock portfolio. They'd make it so much easier on themselves if they'd simply accept the fact that we were born to money for a reason, and they weren't.
I get the feeling that Sam Bennett's problems with our family have to do with something a lot more personal than a trust fund.
What else could it be?
Who knows? But as far as I'm concerned, he and I are at war.
Well, you can count me in. I'm not going to stand for one more of his idle threats. Imagine him warning me. If I don't stop bullying the townsfolk, he'll see to it personally that the Crane power structure is broken up.
Over my dead body.
That's it, isn't it? You stay married to Julian for Ethan's sake.
I don't know what you mean.
I'm sure it has to do with the other children too, but I'd imagine as Ethan being your oldest, he'd be the most affected if you and Julian divorced.
Yes.
I've heard you talk about the future you want for Ethan. If he does take over the Crane family empire one day, it wouldn't do to rock the boat, would it, Ivy? I mean, appearances must be kept at all costs, right, Ivy?
You don't understand anything.
Oh, yes, I do. But I wouldn't worry. Ethan strikes me as the sort of guy that wouldn't let anything get in the way of his ambition. Just like his father and his grandfather before.
No, he is nothing like them.
You don't see it. But I see it as he is a Crane through and through, and there's nothing you can do about it. He's not as smart as he might be, though, or else he wouldn't have pushed me.
I don't think he meant to
So
push
that
you.
was his only mistake, underestimating me. Because if he pushes me again, I'm gonna push back hard.
Sam, I know you hate Julian, but don't take it out on Ethan.
What's the deal with Ethan that you always rushing to his defense? I think that Ethan is quite capable of taking care of himself without his mother's help.
Yes, he is. I just hate to see the two of you fighting.
But why? Why do you get so upset when he and I have a fight?
Can you just give me a hint as to who wants to hurt me?
I didn't say they wanted to hurt you. I said they'd try.
But how can I fight them if I don't know who it is?
Pray. Pray and keep your guard up, because something will happen to test every ounce of faith you possess.
You keep saying that. I mean, is some event going to happen, some catastrophe?
Yes, a catastrophe. There will be a revelation that concerns someone very close to your husband. It will shake your family to its core.
At least we'll see Miguel killed before the demons turn their attention back to us.
Timmy can't watch.
Charity, say something. You're scaring me.
Oh, Miguel. I didn't hear you come in.
The demons have left her. She's back to normal. She won't remember a thing that's happened.
Timmy will. Timmy will never be able to forget.
You really care about Sheridan, don't you?
You seem surprised. I've been in love with her since the first time I laid eyes on her. You think I still got a chance?
You know, you're asking the wrong guy. I've never understood women.
Well, that makes two of us, but Sheridan's not the only one I'm worried about here. If you go and spend all this time and effort into trying to put the pieces of this puzzle together about your father, you might come up empty where your father's concerned.
We'll just have to deal with it.
See, you say that like it's a piece of cake, but I don't buy it. All right? Because I can tell that you still have your hopes up. And there's a good chance that there's no connection at all between your father and Sheridan's nightmares.
Well, look, I'm telling you, if that's the case, I'll deal with it, okay? Hank, I'm fully prepared for whatever we find out. Just hope that, whatever we learn helps Sheridan get on with her life.
You're doing it again.
Doing what?
You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. One minute she's nothing but an acquaintance with a tie to your past, and the next minute you give yourself away. You still have feelings for her, don't you?
I'm ready when you are.
Hey, and then what are we waiting for?
And she's still got a thing for you, too.
What a beautiful night.
You're not too cold, are you?
No, it's perfect.
So I get it right? These are your favorite, aren't they?
I can't believe you remembered.
Oh, gee, that's funny. I can.
Look out!
Music to my ears, son. I wasn't sure that you'd go to the mat for the family name.
Despite our personal differences, Father, I'm a Crane and I'm proud of it.
I cannot tell you how gratified I am to hear you say that.
Why wouldn't I? You know, our family has done a lot for Harmony and its citizens. Half the town puts food on their table with the paychecks they get from us. I'm not about to take Sam Bennett's insults lying down.
I couldn't have said it any better. It's time that we put that cocky, self-righteous chief of police in his place.
I guess he thought he could get away with his anti-Crane rhetoric because I'm young and I haven't been home long. But he has made a tactical error. I'm just gonna have to show him what it's like when you come up against one of us.
I'm sure you'll have him backing down in no time.
I hope so, for his sake. Because I am going to win, even if I have to destroy him.
What makes Ethan so special to you? That sets him so far apart from the rest of your children?
I don't know where you get that idea. I love my other children.
No, but you don't talk about them the way you talk about Ethan. I swear your eyes light up every time you say his name.
Well, he's my firstborn.
No, I think it's more than that.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe Ethan is my favorite, but if he is, it is because he is an exemplary human being. He's good and he's kind and he's decent.
Are we talking about the same Ethan here? The one I know doesn't fit that description at all. I mean, I admit, I was fooled the first couple of times I met him, but now I know better.
You don't know anything about him.
Oh, yes, I do. I've seen him in action. He's a chip off the old block. How can you love Ethan so much when he's just like his father? The man you admit that you loathe and despise. You know, it's interesting. I have to admit, when you first told me that Ethan was my son, there was a small part of me that kind of hoped he was. But now I am so relieved that it's not true. I am so happy that we're not related.
You shouldn't be so hard on him.
Hard on him? I haven't even started. I'm giving you a heads up, Ivy. If your son comes at me the way he threatened to, I'm not gonna back down. And I will destroy him in the process.
He's your son, Sam. He's your son.
A revelation? About someone close to Sam? Who are you talking about?
It's about your husband's son. Sam's son.
Noah? I mean, how can anything to do with Noah hurt our family? We are very close. We love each other.
Just be strong, Grace, because none of your lives will ever be the same.
What are you talking about? Tell me what's going to happen.
I wish I could. Just be careful. Beware.
Please don't go. I have so many things to ask you.
Beware. Beware. Beware.
Please don't leave me like this.
Didn't you hear me calling your name?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I guess my mind's just somewhere else.
afraid, Tip-Tip. Be very, very afraid. We're back.